access to food, money, or even clean water, he lives in a challenging, unforgiving environment where every day is a struggle. Relying only on subsistence farming, he faces constant hardships. But what could drive a family to leave their child behind, seemingly to face such a harsh fate alone? Africa is rich with countless untold stories, but few are as unique as this one. This is the story of Emmanuel, a man whose life makes us rethink what we know about identity, race, and belonging in modern Africa. Every morning when I look in the mirror, I see a puzzle. My skin tells one story, my heart another. But this land tells the true story of who I am. The story begins in 1956, when a young Belgian professor arrived in Rwanda. Like many Europeans in Africa at the time, he came bearing academic credentials and Western ideals. Unlike many others, he would leave behind a legacy that complicated the traditional narrative of European presence in Africa. He came as a Belgian professor. He was different from the other Europeans, less rigid, more willing to learn our ways. Perhaps that was what drew him to my mother. In a time when relationships between Europeans and Africans were heavily scrutinized, a love story bloomed. Emmanuel's mother was a local teacher's daughter, known for her intelligence and grace. The dad would come to village meetings, trying to learn their language. People would laugh at his attempts to speak Kinyarwanda, but the mother found it endearing. They became friends first, that was important. Their relationship went against the social norms of both communities. Some people saw it as a sign of progress, while others felt it broke unspoken rules. This was a period of transition. Rwanda was still under Belgian administration, but change was in the air. Their relationship embodied both the possibilities and complications of that era. I don't have a single photo of my father, but I wish I did. Sometimes I wonder if my memories of him are fading, just like a picture that slowly disappears over time. Born in 1963, just after Rwanda gained independence, Emmanuel entered a world in flux. His fair skin and European features, he became a reminder of Rwanda's complicated colonial past. My earliest memories are of confusion. Children would run away from me, thinking I was a ghost. Others would follow me, wanting to touch my skin. I didn't understand why I looked so different from my mother. According to former teacher, Emmanuel was a bright student, but you could see the burden he carried. His father's occasional visits to the school created tension. Here was a man who seemed ashamed of his own son. His father's visits became a regular part of young Emmanuel's life. Each arrival brought hope, and each departure brought disappointment. Then came the day his father left for good.
According to his mother, the father said it was just another business trip to Belgium. He packed the same bag, followed the same routine. Only this time the goodbye was different. Looking back, perhaps I knew.
Abandonment could have been the end of Emmanuel's story. Instead, it became the beginning of something unexpected. When you're left with nothing, you learn to build everything. The land became my father, teaching me patience, rewarding hard work, showing me how to grow. People laugh when they first see Emmanuel in the fields, a white man covered in mud, working harder than anyone. But that laughter quickly turns to respect. He understands farming better than most of us. It's not just work for him, it's healing.
When we met, people thought I was marrying him for money. They couldn't believe a white man could be poor in Africa. But I saw something they didn't, a man who had turned pain into strength. Growing up, we'd ask Papa about our Belgian family. He would say, "Your family is here, in this soil, in these hills." But we could see in his eyes that part of him was still searching.
60 years have passed since Emmanuel's father first arrived in Rwanda. Somewhere in Belgium, there might be siblings, cousins, a family unknown. But Emmanuel's search for belonging has yielded unexpected fruits. People see my farm now and call me successful. But my real success is finding peace with who I am. I am not Belgian, I am not traditionally Rwandan. I am both, and I am neither. I am simply me. In a world increasingly divided by identity politics, Emmanuel's story offers a different perspective. His legacy isn't defined by the color of his skin or the father who left, but by the roots he chose to grow. My father left me in Africa, thinking perhaps he was abandoning me to hardship. Instead, he left me to find my true inheritance, this land, these people, this life. Africa didn't just accept me, it completed me. In the end, Emmanuel's story isn't just about being left in Africa. It's about finding home in the very place where you were abandoned, about creating belonging where others might see only difference. If my father could see me now, I would thank him, not for leaving, but for leaving here. Sometimes, what looks like abandonment is really a door to something greater. Emmanuel's longing for a relationship with his father highlights how vital parental involvement is in a child's life. By learning from Emmanuel's experiences, parents can create nurturing environments that promote emotional health and strong family bonds, ultimately helping their children navigate their own paths with confidence and security. Thank you for watching. This is The Different.